Hello everyone, this is Chris Jamal at Exiton Interactive, and in this video we are going to focus on setting up the search area of our main navigation. So that includes both obviously the markup and the styling to get it to work. The styling includes some responsive components to it. So we have a little bit extra space for our input text when we have a wide enough display. The text box shrinks down when we're smaller. It starts off on the right hand side if you're in a desktop view and gets placed in the middle in between the icon and the little hamburger menu for our mobile navigation, and expands to take up the rest of the available space if you are in a mobile view. Since we've already done work in previous videos to set up full text search in the application, we're also going to do the back end part, so setting up the controller in action for us to actually have a working search box here. And so we'll take care of all that in this video. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started here. So the first thing that we're going to do is to add an icon to our library here. So in the same main.page.ts file, I'm going to come in here and add, I'm just going to copy it in, search icon here. So we have the FA search, and of course we need to then add it down here, FA search. So now we have the ability to display a search icon, and close that page, and we're back to the markup for it. So here we are, the authentication that we did in the previous video. We're going to come below it, I think. Could I be more deliberate? Probably. Put it in the spot that I would want for mobile, but we'll use CSS anyway. So let's make a div, give it a class. Search bar. Inside of that, we're going to need a form, the action, search. We do need a method. We're going to say post. So if you remember from the previous video, we do have an anti-forgery token sitting up here somewhere, right? Anti-forgery token there. So we can add that to our form. So you can either use, the HTML anti-forgery token helper. Like I said, we already have done it, so let's just do raw and pass in that token. So that'll give us our hidden input. We do need a visible one to do some searching for, and put a placeholder on it, and I put search Exiton interactive.com. we put a name on this. Oops, I called it term. And while we're at it, we'll put a label on it. Oh, not a room there, that's just search terms input. Maybe search term. Alright, so we have an input. And I guess we can make this bigger at the moment. So we have an input, we need a button. Button dot no class. Okay. Well, you don't want to help me out. Oops. Okay. I see you down there. Forget it. Alright, so inside of that button, all we're going to need is the icon. Let's try. Let's give it one more shot. fas.fa dash search dot fa. Yeah, FA large. So we have our icon there. Type equals submit for the button. We'll give it a label. And search submit button. Let's go ahead and save that. Now we refresh our browser. We have it up there. Goes all crazy. Alright, so we have added it to our, actually I guess let's take a look. just to make sure. If we look, we'll see that the input, we do have our hidden input for the anti-forgery token. We have our input and the button. Everything seems good. Let's close that. Alright, so now we do some styling. So let's come down to the bottom of our main-nav.component.scss file and some styles. Actually, I guess I jumped already first. So first off, if we're in mobile view, so we're in the main navigation here, what I want is to have, so the anchors have the hamburger menu for the mobile navigation, and I want that to be on the right hand side. If I look over here, that's helpful. So this would be the web page, the way the web page would look. I want the hamburger menu on the right, search in the middle there between the icon. So we'll come up here and we'll add search, and I want it to take up basically any additional space. When we come down to the desktop view, I want that to be search to be on the right, I believe, and auto. Let's go ahead and save that. So we've done some stuff. So we'll display flex to put it in a row, but we can see that the search area is to the left of the mobile menu, and it's expanded to take up the available space. If we expand it, we'll see that it's now confined to the right hand side. So we are heading in the right direction. So now at the bottom here, we're going to add a search bar class there. Grid area, search. And include, we'll get a little bit of padding. Use our gutter for top and bottom, and nothing left and right. Before we save it, to see something more dramatic, we'll just select the form, display flex selection row. Go ahead and save that. Try and actually save it. Alright, so we have it generally where we want everything to be. So because of the base styles that I've included, inputs automatically have a margin on the bottom. So input margin 0, so it'll automatically move everything together. Perfect. And I want to change a few things here. So Chrome doesn't have an issue with it. I think in Firefox is the one, or yeah, Firefox, I had to add in the min width 0 to make it look the way it's supposed to, and it's not on here, but I've styled input boxes. So since it isn't on here, I'm not going to worry about it. I have a styling for input boxes to help with validation, things like that. I'm not worried about validation with this, so ignore what I was going to adjust the border width, but forget it. Now, when the width of the display is much larger than the mobile breakpoint, so let's see if I've given myself enough space. So this cuts off, the text box cuts off the placeholder text when the width of our display is larger. So include media greater than or equal to 1440 pixels. And I want to set the width to be 287 pixels. Just to give a little bit of padding to the search bar. Looks a bit nicer that way. Might even go all EM on it. Alright, and the last thing that I want to do is to adjust the button here. So the button, what it does in the default styling, they have it set up to do some contrast ratio. So what I'm about to do is probably not what I should do, but I think that that blue is close enough that what I want is to set the color of it is to the navigation background color, which in this case happens to be white. And we'll get in trouble a little bit from some, tools that check to see if our web page is good. We'll get some contrast ratio error kind of thing or warning, but I think it's close enough. Oh well. So that takes care of the styling for it. Now in previous videos, we can go a little bit further, because in previous videos we have done some work to do searching, enable searching here, just to make sure everything's working fine. So we can actually wire the search box up to work correctly. And to do that, we're going to come in. So what we're going to do here, I could, in the search page that we had previously made, we have a get method on it. We could put a post method here, which would work fine in this particular situation. Later on, we probably will tackle the idea of pagination, and the thing is that the way that I like the URL to be when it comes to paging, I probably can't read this, but this is an example of the search from my website. So the URL up here, does the Chrome affect the URL? If I zoom in, probably not. So the URL basically has the page that we're on, excitinteractive.com, the host, and then /search, then /article, which happens to be the search term that I searched for, and then it has /page-1. Now, if that page-1 had just been 1, then we could simply still have that. Well, let's just say it poses a problem to have a string, a constant string, this page-1, when it comes to building up the route in the Razor page, right? So to deal with this, and there's some other instances in which I wanted to use it, what we're going to do is to create a controller. It will post to that controller, an action within that controller, and then we'll redirect to the get page, or the getter on the search page. So instead of talking about it, we will just come in here and do it. And since I didn't delete things, we already have it here. So we'll just leave it alone. So what I have is in the page I had to create the controllers folder, so we didn't have it before. And when I'm dealing with controllers, if I'm sending a request to the controller, unless it's a rare instance in which I know I really don't need anything else, I do tend to like to have a class to bind the properties to, or the form data to. So in this case, I created a request folder inside the controllers folder, and inside that I've created this class, which is the search request class here. And I see what's happening. I'm in the development part. So instead of talking about it, let's do it. So we'll create our controllers folder. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. So we have a controllers folder, new folder here. Inside of that, we'll put the requests again. So inside that request, I want to have the, what did I call it? Search request.cs. Inside of there, again, all we're going to do is to have it bind the term, which again, in our markup here, we have the name term and term. So we'll save that. What we now need is the controller, so we need the search controller.cs. Perfect. So in here, we're going to need to do a couple of imports. And now we'll do the namespace webui.controllers. and public class search controller. Let's hear it from controller. Perfect. Stop doing JavaScript. So just to be pedantic about it, be specific, it will already default to it, but we're going to say that the controller, every action inside there is going to be underneath the route search. We need an action result method called search. And what we'll expect here, we're going to do two things. First, we're going to make a mistake here. I'll tell you why here in a second. From body search request down here. Let's put some attributes on here. So this is a HTTP post method, and we're going to do validate anti-forgery token. And then all we're going to do from this is return redirect to page that we're going to look for is the search page. We need some data for that. And all that's going to be is to convert it. So the search page, if you go back and check the previous videos, it's actually going to bind to a search property. And so we'll just convert the request to term. All right, let us save that. Check to stop the server here for a second. Start it up again. Should be working again. Perfect. Let's come up here and search for something. And this thing got me for a few minutes. An HTTP error 415. That 415 is an unsupported media type, I believe. And I wasn't sure for a little bit what was going on or how to fix that. So typically I'm doing these requests and communicating with the server right through XHR requests. And that's what I did previously. So it's our problem here is the from body. So what this should be is from form. Save that. Server's going to restart. Refresh this. And now we'll cross our fingers. And we have now the search results, or our search bar, the input button, whatnot. Everything is working. Actually, so we should have article. I clicked on it. Let's just hit enter. And of course, we've put the button as a submit type. So we can automatically do the search by just hitting enter. And everything is working correctly. I think a previous video I said that maybe the next video we'll work on the mobile navigation, but I think now the time has finally arrived that we will in fact start to work on mobile navigation. And as usual, I'll mention that you can find the code in an article for this video in the description below, and I will talk to you later. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video. I know that your time is valuable. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and click the thumbs up button, as well as share the video with your friends. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below. And once again, thank you, and I will talk to you in the next video.